if you had the choice to do whatever you wanted, money was no obstacle. You could play video games all day, you can go gardening, you could continue to work, or you can continue to build a business, or you can travel, or you can do whatever you wanted, right? What would your ideal life look like? If you don't have an answer to this, then you should definitely explore it. Let's talk about the power of envisioning your future and the power of using your mind's eye. Now let's talk about like a real world example first. There's a lot of sports stars. There's a lot of, I know hockey players that do this. I used to do it myself. I was taught to do it. And also there's a lot of rock climbers who I know do this. I think other sports stars do this as well. And this is to envision something in your mind's eye before it happens. So for instance, rock climbers, they'll get to the route that they want to climb. They'll look at it and they'll look at their routes, like the climb, like where they have to put their hands and stuff. And they'll think about it in their mind as if they're climbing it and say, okay, I have to turn my body this way to get that one, then I have to go that way. And they'll actually plan it out before they even get that. They'll imagine themselves in their mind climbing it before they even climb it, because it's going to help them ahead of time to plan it out a little bit. Even if things aren't exactly what they planned out, having that little bit of plan is going to help a lot, because it gives them a clear direction of, okay, this is kind of what I want to be doing, right? It's giving them more to go off of than nothing at all, right? And that's what many of us are doing within our lives, right? Many of us in our lives are giving our minds nothing to go off of, as far as what we're going to be pursuing, where we're going to be moving forward, right? And if you don't know where you're going, well, then anything is going to get you there, and you're going to end up some random spot, right? It may be where you want to be, it may not be where you want to be, but how do you know if you're not going to be directing yourself to that spot? So how can we start to create visions for ourselves for the future? Maybe you're like, Tanner, I just don't know what I'd want to do. You know, video games sounds fun, but I feel like I'd get bored after a while. Okay, so then start to explore, you know, maybe you do play video games for part of the time. Maybe you have another hobby. Do you like to bike ride? Do you like to go out rock climbing? Do you like to, what else do you like to do? Do you like to travel, right? Start to envision those other things. Maybe start to envision, where would you like to live? If you could live anywhere you'd want, anywhere in the world, where would that place be? Okay, now you're in that place. What would the house look like that you live in? Would it be a house? Would it be a little cabin? Would it, you know, what would you be living in a boat on the water, right? What is your, like, what just sounds exciting to you? It can change. Like, this is not set in stone. Once you set this up, it's just not like, I'm stuck to this forever. Now I have to get a house on the water, right? No, it's just for fun. It's just to give your mind something fun to play with, right? And games do this pretty well. Like, you usually know what you're working towards. You usually know what the main quest is, right? For a lot of us, we don't have the main quest built out for ourselves. So we're just kind of like aimlessly doing side quests and doing things along the way and going through and mining stuff for no apparent reason. And we just end up in some random spot. I'm like, oh, I'm here, right? And we don't even know how we got here. Well, you got here because of the actions you took. But since your actions weren't focused on a specific, like a specific spot, they just kind of got you to a random spot, right? Instead, if you start to have that clarity and that vision, and then you start to align your actions with your vision, that's when you start to bring yourself to that spot. I mean, when you create that reality for yourself, it may not be exactly how you pictured it in your mind, right? But since it gives yourself a direction to go, to create something that would be appealing to you, that's exciting to you. Just ask yourself, what's exciting to me? What would be exciting if I woke up every morning and I got to do this? What would it be? If I woke up every morning, I got to walk out to this. Where would it go? You know, ask yourself these questions. What would you be eating? Who would be the people you were with? Ask yourself these questions and really start to get yourself a good picture of it. And then literally imagine yourself waking up in the bed that you'd be, sleeping in, walking out into the room, walking downstairs, seeing the people that you'd want to be seeing. Maybe there's the food that you'd want to be eating made for you. You can smell it, you can taste it, right? You can do this all within your mind's eye. And then, how warm is it outside? What's the temperature outside? Is it sunny outside? Is there greenery around? Are you in the mountains? Is there snow? What is envisioned, right? literally take yourself through those things and allow yourself to envision it in your mind's eye. I've heard a couple of people talk about this, why this is powerful. I'll talk about it from a subconscious point of view first. There's this part of our mind, the subconscious part of our mind, which is going to be drawn to the familiar. And usually what's most familiar is things that have a lot of emotion tied to them, a lot of visualization tied to them, things that are repeated frequently. And so the idea with this visualization, at least for this part of the mind and for this aspect of it, is to get your subconscious mind familiar with the life and your vision and your dream. So that way this part of your mind starts to bring you towards things like that. Starts to make it so you get urges and cravings to bring you towards that life, so that you start to get thoughts and random thoughts that pop into your head that bring you towards that life, right? That's what that part's about, is giving your mind something to hold on to and something to say where to go. Now, I've heard some other people talk about why envisioning can be helpful, and it has to do with quantum physics and the whole idea behind there is no past or present. Or sorry, there's no past or future, sorry. There's only a present. There's only a now. That's really what quantum physics told us, that all things are happening in the now. So what happened in the past is happening now. What happened in the future is happening now. Everything is happening right now. And if this is true, then it makes sense why you speak with affirmations, speak them into the present tense, because it's happening now, right? But essentially, you're envisioning yourself live that life now through your mind. And the cool thing is that everything is made up of energy, meaning that your thoughts, you envisioning that, is just as real as you living this world right now. If you guys like this content, make sure you guys give it a like. Give me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. What would your guys' ideal place be, your ideal living situation? What's your opinion of this, of envisioning and using a visual practice within your life? And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day. Make sure you guys shoot me a follow or subscribe, depending on what platform you're watching on as well.